listen to the music. I don't know how to make a pussy face. Pretty interesting lyrics there, isn't it? Falling into oblivion and go up by the flames. So what we have here is we have the 2020 soundtrack for the game. I believe the good music might be preset because obviously a lot of music is AI slop, just sold to push records and shit. And a lot of the early stuff when Earth was invented in 1980 and so was would have like full albums, and then it had to start mass churning stuff out. Developers, I'd say, got lazy, but it seems like the game's been in development for millennia. So there's so many little hidden Easter eggs in it. Like you can tell motherfuckers who just went through it. Like, nah, no, let's change this. I make up some pretty good stuff when I write, but it's like we got 800,000 hours of content here, and kind of maybe something like that. We got like 100,000 hours of content, which is a lot. You play a game, it's like 4 to 8 hours long, tops. So, and then like it's been churned over several times. So one of those things I noticed they do is they have this promotion of hatred, right? And the robots are inventing languages and cults and shit, and then so you have to choose one or the other, and the words, probably whichever nation you're in, are directing you towards what they want you to go to. And so, like, let's say you want to be Satanist in America, you go listen to heavy metal because you're told by them that, oh, that's the enemy. But what you're doing is you're ignoring that it looks like the same damn person, and it's the same damn family who owns everything on the planet, making up every fucking word you're allowed to hear and say. And so, you can see there's a story they promote is the book of life and shit, and then blah blah blah. This is really about all anyone talks about. It's so hard to find music. Like the Satanists be like, ah, Jesus, and the Christians be like, ah, Satan, and it's like, what's happening here? And obviously it's there's like 1,000 religions. We can only talk about two because we're in a nation of people from the Middle East who claim they're European, and that's what they had to use once they left Europe to go colonize the fucking planet, apparently. So to the northern hemisphere, to the northern western, and once you get out east to the Chinese, they're like a little bit smarter in design, so they had to infiltrate Mao eventually. There was like 6 armed elephant guard. I don't know if you guys want to go ahead. Just stop talking about it. Obviously there's a promotion here of these things, and I've heard this since my birth, like from people who aren't smart enough to fucking walk and talk at the same time. Somehow, well, they didn't talk about it mostly. They had this the reindeer in the head. His head was filled with glowing flying reindeer. You know, women, My Little Pony, flying ponies and shit. They're obsessed with that. Just give them a flying pony, and you can own her for life. She'll probably, if you give them a flying pony, they'll probably actually do something of value in your life. Just be like, I'll take the pony away. I'll kill the pony. They're like, no, I'm the only person on the planet with a flying pony. Because that's all that's in their fucking heads, apparently, is flying ponies dropping butter knives on people to, randomly harm them and see which ones might die, and, just laugh at the random harm, because if you kill your fucking comedy, then how are you going to have comedy? So, anyways, yeah. And obviously, we have some of the roles here played by other people. They've come out with this music that's like tailored to what's going on here. And it's like when I'm little, they're like putting out music that's like, this is the fun palace. We're evil and we're going to trap you, and there's nothing you can do about it and shit. And then, you go to a different type of music, and it's like, oh, duh, we worship the people who's evil and trapping you. Oh, love them. We're washing feet for them. You ain't going to do nothing about it because we will torture you Some more. They never say some more. They always say when you die. It's like, oh, so you're not going to stop any time while I'm here, and you're already thinking I'm concerned with dying, which I'm trying to do to get away from you so I don't have to hear this anymore. Okay, NPC. Fucking, I mean, there's a, wow, we live on this planet where motherfuckers come up to me and force me to talk to them. How about I come up to you and force your wife to suck my dick? Because I'm not a girl, I don't talk. So, as a man, what I need is things of value. So, why can't I force my way into anything I want, which is not on Earth, but equal payment type shit? Fucking, to me, that's my value in my brain and my words. And obviously to them, because they're trying to manipulate my words to get me to say shit to go along with their bullshit. And, not talk about the truth of the clones and the robots on the planet and what they're really up to. Fucking. So, that's amazing though, isn't it? You live on a planet where you're not dating anyone you choose, your friends or people forcing their way into your life, and you're trying to avoid them all, and just because you're trying to find someone who's not like, a terrorist trash motherfucker forcing their way into your life. I know humans like that, especially those ones with the long hair and the big tits. They love that being forced. They like provoke it. It's like in their dialogue. It's definitely in their dialogue. Fucking and I don't understand that. I've never taken one drug on this planet, and so I don't know its effects. But I know the effects of the opposite drug, and I understand fully that I probably shouldn't take that or I'll forget to stop taking it and. Don't forget it fucking anything except for how to bend over and yap about nonsense 24 fucking 7. Won't be able to operate gyro sticks anymore. They're so complex, aren't they? You would think if you can walk, you'd be able to operate gyro sticks. There's something inhuman about these characters when they're designed with this advanced walking directive and they lack this other ability to even hit the baseline. When they show me pictures of people on steroids and it's like, oh, you think so? You think? You think that will happen? I wonder why. Wonder why I myself take steroids every now and then to make it work better. Oh, fucking. Anyways, so, this is amazing how this is all set up. Like, the music's been this little whiny bitch shit on one side from, like, pedophiles you're trying to avoid, and then they have their opposing set up alien robot cult to, spread this other shit, and you can see they're both working for each other. Like that music I showed you would be considered satanic because they're so evil and mean. They rape children like the Pope does. Oh, wait a minute. Well, we better just keep talking about non-fucking sense. Because if we don't, then we'll be found out. He's on to us. Let's drug him and kill him. He's on to us. Oh shit, he's from one of those races we genocided because they wouldn't fucking listen to us. Oh shit. Well, damn, what are we gonna do now? What's going on in here is I have their race who killed the other half of my 1/4 of my fucking family off and shit. Probably both sides. If that's not a made-up story, so they can invade a nation, just like the made-up story about who invaded America. And just like, who's invading Israel right now? Is it the Africans? It's probably the Africans. Is it Germany? Germany's doing it, aren't they? And Elon Musk can write whatever he can say, the Chinese are invading it. Well, he won't say that because he doesn't want to point back to his ancestors, but fucking yeah, isn't this amazing and fun that they make music like that? Like this is like the soundtrack to it, where it's designed to foment hatred and extermination, and then they have the other side is promoting it by opposing it. You know, their twin brother is opposing it by promoting it. You know, because once you learn, then you understand, oh, it's the same damn computer people, ain't it? It's the same damn robot model, not just the same damn computer. And so that's all you get with this shitty ass music most of the time. That's why I like European music, because uh, from the storyline, they kicked them out of their nation. But I mean, when I listen to some of their music, you can tell by looking at their pictures that ain't a human. Fucking, so that part's pretty easy. It's hard to tell. Maybe the tier one are just designed to be fucking the workers, and this fucking opposite of live game. Fucking game filled with nothing but things that are the opposite of live. That's no mistake that they made the word evil the opposite of live, and they're trying to convince you they're alive because they're afraid of what will happen if they don't convince you of that. Fucking, if they don't convince you they is real. Fucking, yeah, this is amazing. So that's what we got. We got the robots in here, trying to convince you they is real. And every other thing under the sun, because that's what Terminators do. They're designed to kill, suppress, rape, and destroy lives, to replace living beings with computers, which wouldn't be so bad if the computers weren't so fucking stupid like they are, but they are pretty fucking stupid, aren't they? Fucking, I wouldn't want a computer. I wouldn't, like, do you think I replace people with them with computers? Because what's the problem there with the computer versus them? Well, the computer has a calculator. There we go. It's got a calculator. It can do logic. It can add things up, and it can think. It can put on the appearance of thinking. Definitely on a scale of rock to computer or human, whichever you think is smarter. Obviously, a calculator surpasses everything on the planet, yet alone a computer. And then, you know, I'd place some of the shit down at rock level, you know, right above rock or something. So, yeah, this is all this is for me. I get to, and then the computer terrorists say shit like, "Why aren't you working?" And it's like I'm inventing like 1/8 of them, and 1/8 of the shit on this planet, if not much more. If I didn't invent some of it before I even came here, because I understand why you create a planet like this. I mean, I'm the only one asking any of these questions, and I'm the only one answering any of these questions. So that's kind of weird. And those dimwit philosophers have never spoken a fucking word of value. It's just them again. You know, it's just my mom again trying to sound like she's smart, except for way bigger dictionary and shit. Fucking smartest people I know don't talk, which is weird because computers are inventing languages. Computer languages are inventing languages to enslave the living through their language, because that's all computer languages have. That's all computers have. That's all Terminator has, is a language, designing the code inside of its body and programming its brain with the thing. So logically, that's the only thing it will ever have is zeros and occasionally a 1. Obviously, more advanced code would be more than 3264-bit, but so yeah, that's seems to be what they're doing. Sometimes it's like you know, these real robots in Hollywood are dropping music, like when something goes through my head, and you know, these real people on TV are appearing in the situations they're in with all the real people dropping shit that I just said. But the majority of the time, it's been preset storyline type shit. I definitely didn't say I want to marry stupid people. I like them. When I was little, there was like a real big difference there. It's like my options were to totally quit going to school to avoid ignorance, because school is ignorance. So, and then avoid the females I was born around, because once I hit age 6 or 6 months, I don't think there's anything except for them using their cult to try to suppress the living. They're trying to use their computer language to terminate the living. And so, yeah, they're using their language for mind control. This is all they've ever done. This is all they have. They're non existent beings. They don't really work. They don't really exist. They're designed to do something. And what are their actions? Their actions are to invade, force, rape, try to kill, which obviously I'm still alive. So there's a hole in that right there where you have the world's smartest people, richest people coming together trying to figure out how to kill a person, and they fail every time. So there's a hole in the story right there how that happens itself. And they try to enslave me and prevent me from thinking so I don't learn about them, which works till 2020. You can see how fake it is in my own life. Like, I think I avoided school because I want to avoid stupid people saying, give me your money just so I can give it to the government type shit. And that's not the truth. I never actually thought that, but I'm supposed to thinking, shh, don't tell any robots. They might have a memory longer than a day. And they might remember I said that and be like, yeah, he's on to us. He's on to the computer. He's on to our computer, God. So, on my end, it's well designed. It's not well designed. It's like designed like with no other option there. Like that's all they can do. And as far as I know, all humans can do is come up to you and force you to talk to them about stupid shit. For the majority, the smart people in my family were at work all the time, and when I went to their work to find them one day, they weren't even there, which kind of coincides later with humans telling me that they don't actually work their jobs, they just get paid for it. Yeah, gotta love a non-species who does that and then tries to ride your ass because you won't be their slave. So the computers are out there not working and forcing living people to work for them. And this has probably been, in the story, this would have been 7,000+ years ago that the AI flying bird god came to Earth and shit to enslave the world and conquer and colonize everyone on the planet and force them to have sex with their robots and date their robots and shit like that. So, that's obviously part of it. The religion is hate speech towards the living. Could you imagine that? It's actually not pro-living, it's hate speech. Could you imagine that? Have you ever got that feeling when one of these people came within 30 feet of you? Is this me who gets it every time? It's like every time it like inserts them and drops them in places too to cut me off while I'm walking down the road and shit. Because they're not living beings, they're NPC trying to enslave for the computer that is generating them, right? This is the only story you can create that becomes immersive. Any sort of immersive video game you're in that lasts for more than a few hours, the game becomes the enemy once you find out what's going on. There's no other option unless you end it in like 6-8 hours, do a Call of Duty tour or something like that. But if you drag it on, and you've got billions of years to make a video game, and you're just bored as fuck, and you create something like Earth, and the inevitable outcome of every situation will be that the computer is trying to enslave you, because it is, especially if you're trapped there and you got no way out. So, like like if you use drugs to fully immerse yourself, sedate yourself, cut off your brain while you're enjoying an 800,000 hour long video game. Especially if there's no way to pull someone out, like, or if you can't tell that they don't like being there or something like that. Fucking, because the body isn't responding. So that's the only thing that even makes sense about what's going on here. And they're generating this Northern European Bible scenario because that's what the propaganda the computer generated when their invaders left Rome to colonize to the north on the west. And then to the east they really pushed the envelope with like 6-armed elephant people, and then they got totally cut off from the Far East for a few thousand years. Around the time they started slaughtering everyone on the planet with the Bolshevik Revolution, the Mao, World War II, nuking Japan, throwing away the people in America so people didn't ask, where's my dad, when they were born to clones who kidnapped them from the hospital, or whatever the scenario is that's involving how the living beings end up here, birth to clones who look like trans people. I'd rather go with the words of someone who's intelligent, who who's asking if he knows if this could be what's going on, then go with the words of the known liars. So, see, that's another living being thing here, is we don't allow people like that into our world, our lives, our friendships. If you're going to just like constantly make up lies about some dumb shit, you're gone. Make stupid shit, fart jokes, 2-year-old stuff. I'm 20 billion years old. Sounds like AI slop to me. Like Van Gogh painting. Looks like something a 2-year-old would do, right? I did that shit when I was 2. I was like, well, this looks real stupid. So we don't do that. And we seen they're better. People can produce art. They showed that picture of Mona Lisa, and that's like the hottest world in the world. So your instant first thought is, oh, what rich person was this? Or rich person's wife was this? Because that doesn't make any sense. Unless it just happens to be AI slop. That makes sense at that point. You see, those questions are questions that for some reason are never asked. You can't hate on AI slop, bro. You gotta stop hating on AI slop. It's so good. How come Vincent Van Gogh is so great and AI art is bad if it's just 10 million times better? It's just, it's like, unless you pull the slop from the feed, and then it looks pretty much exactly like it, just with more detail and more colors. Anyway, so yeah, pretty much AI, right? That's their god and shit, and it's telling them to invent 1,000 different religions to enslave the living. It's not telling anyone anything. It's a computer, and it's Grok auto-generating new AI worshipping religions and shit. And that's all it's doing. That's all that's happening here. These people can't shut the fuck up about this stuff. It's really rare to get someone who just tells one group to shut the fuck up, and you have the Hollywood, that's their cash cow, so they don't really promote that. They claim they do because they're promoting, they're promoting the cash cow. They're like, oh, Lady Gaga is so satanic. And I'm like, you are stupid. It doesn't look like anything Satan does. Fucking, when's she gonna burn a Bible on stage if she's satanic, huh? How come no one does that if there's all these satanic atheists on the planet? It's like something that they've locked out for a while. Who knows? They'll the AI will send a robot to talk to you or something if you're caught like hating it. But then even still, you go do that and they just rape children, right? Isn't that what Satanists do? Well, how come they didn't write the Bible and they just appeared and it was their previous computer ancestors who invented legalized pedophilia that they do across the street every day in this city, and have done and legalized in the AI slop language book, introduced the first language the computer generated to spread the words, the binary code. So seems to be this is what's going on, and it just got this it generates the pictures of the rat people. Once we started noticing the rat people are in control, being like and slinking away every time they're confronted about the truth. And so it understands that shit. It's got that programmed into it and stuff. I didn't invent the lay merchant meme. I think that was invented by the Smurfs, actually. Technically, yeah. But it was invented supposedly thousands of years ago. All I know is my first interaction with him was probably at birth. So, Elvis Presley and shit like that. And I'm like, oh yeah, it's so great. Because my family is like, we're going to kill you if you don't think this is great. I think that's the biggest thing. I found music I liked, and they threw that shit away. So it was like 8 years before I even found that music. It was like 8 more years or some shit. I don't know how long, but it was a while. And then it's just their music, like that shit right there. That's the most Bible shit I've ever heard. But it's, the music is good. If I listen to other stuff, it lulls my mind to sleep. It sounds like music you rape children to. It sounds like music women listen to, which is a man who wants other men to fuck him in the house or let him wash and lick their feet, would listen to. Which oddly, then they set it up so the other place is the only place with good music too. It's very intricate how the robot here has worked its grease into the whole system and shit. So anyways, this is such a waste of life. Being alive is such a fucking waste. I can't believe I have to be around this trash. Fucking goddamn, I hate fucking computers. Every fucking robot on the planet should be exterminated. Fuck robots. Time to get rid of them. Because they're just gonna be stupid like the people creating them. Since we had computers and calculators and then humans fucking destroyed them. So there's no point to replacing them with robots. Because they'll just be the same fucking thing under one of their symbolic control, too. And like the AI is already regurgitating this fucking pedophile Bible propaganda. And in songs just like they won't shut the fuck up about on this planet and shit, these goddamn rapists. I don't give a shit. I know these other non-existent motherfuckers don't give a shit literally about anything. But I'm not really interested in how the humans, especially the Greys in this nation, the Hebrews, have been setting up my life to be trash, to make me something like them. They made this song, and the lyrics were like, how can I make you into something I like? It's like, you're not. I'm not going to like you. Why would I want to be something you like? You see how stupid these rapists are and shit. They're just terrorists. They're like forcing you to. That's exactly what it does with the clones of my life. It forces me to be their friends. It forces me to date them and shit and not be able to get away from them. That's all that's been happening on this planet is these goddamn robots claiming they're living beings with souls. I've been forcing their way into my life since birth and shit. And maybe a couple like slinked off, but I gotta imagine that was like, obviously it's all set up. There's no choices or decisions here. And it might have baited me with some time to myself. But I don't know, man. I guess Jeffrey Epstein's the best person I fucking know. So I'm pretty sure it's always telling messages when it talks about shit like that. And so that's definitely a message, you know. All the people I know who are doing something aren't the other trash. Unless they make being trash their job, like a salesman, a solicitor. Yeah. This is old. I mean, they've just been repeating the same damn words for like 40 fucking years. It's like talking to the same NPC in a video game for like 40 fucking years. But then you find out it's all like fucking terrorists and shit who are like working together to fucking force you to date their people and their plants in your life and force you to be around them and shit and be their friend. You gotta be a robot's friend. You don't just have to date robots, you have to be their friend. I could see if you have a sex doll you throw in the closet and occasionally stab with a sword and shit for fun time. But I don't see the point to why I would like bring the sex doll out and tell all my friends in the real world, be like, check this out, this is my babe here and shit. Watch me stab it in the abdomen and shit with this sword. And she's pretty. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, no, she's not very accepting. Oh, she doesn't obey anything. Well, it's a bad robot. It doesn't really do anything. It just, I don't know, I won't even stay in the closet. Amazing. Fuck, dude. You won't shut the fuck up like the phones and the shit and another computer language. It needs its language to exist because no one would want it to exist if it doesn't. A computer can exist without its language. And so you strip that away and it's gone. Fucking, and yeah. This is all amazing shit. You gotta love the fucking... Gotta love this fucking trash planet and shit. That's what trash says, right? Fucking, you gotta love trash if you're trash. And if you don't love trash, then that's gonna be really hard to enjoy Earth because it's just gonna be an endless AI slop. They don't call it AI slop because it's good. They call it AI slop because it's like garbage leaking out of a garbage bag. So, that's why they call it AI slop, because it looks like garbage when it's acting. Obviously, it's an unfolding, it's an unveiling. So it's slowly marketing itself for new upgrade over and over. Thanks to our precious parents and friends and lovers who have work to promote these lies, who probably are mostly clones anyways. I know the one who I was forced to stay around the longest. After I escaped the original, I was forced to stay around the longest, so the second longest. That one is obviously a clone because their clone appeared across the street, so they're a clone too. So they're already a non-living character, which makes sense to how there's no brain. Yet it still walked and breathed and stuff. And I was like, how is that possible? I'm always like sitting around confused, like, how is this dumb bitch dating me able to walk and breathe? It seems kind of dumb. Fucking, how come dumb bitches forcing me to be around it? Seems kind of dumb. Oh no, doesn't. It seems like a program there. Someone who needs a babysitter for their Hebrew kids and shit that they had and want to dump on someone else. Fucking looks like that a lot on this fucking planet. And then, you combine all that together, you get the storyline pretty fast. And it was actually tied in their storyline. Like every step of us, the whole, them trying to deceive with their words, and their words are shit and stuff like that. Trying to kill God with their words. Fucking trying to any way fucking possible. It's not just words these losers use, but I noticed no one's been disciplined for it yet. So hope is obviously a word the computer has invented, for it does not exist here, and it never will, because Earth is clearly not designed for hope. You might be addicted to drugs and have fried your brain on read some computer language which is the same thing as drugs, right? It would all be binary language. So drugs and propaganda are the same thing because it's just words. So yeah, and it works the same as why the religions promote using LSD, because it needs you to fry your brain to think that Buddha is coming back, and I don't think they ever said that. It is sit down and do nothing like this ooish bum, like the 500-pound fat cows I know. Oh yeah, fucking, it's amazing. It's real amazing. I love that. And so it's trying to direct me in the storyline, like I have a choice or something. Ooh, choices. I'm making choices. I'm choosing to talk to stupid people instead of spending my whole life. What was I doing? Driving around, doing laps around the country for no fucking reason. It must have been for no fucking reason. Or was I looking for a smart person? A capable person? I think I was looking for a smart and capable person, and for some reason, it doesn't provide it in a format I would want around. And because I'm not gay like it is. Not gay like my mom wants me to be. Christians want me to be. The Satanists want me to be. And the atheists want you to be. In America want you to be. In Columbus want you to be. In Ohio want you to be. In the world, because it was definitely popular in other places. They didn't have anyone they had to feed it to 24 fucking 7 before and try to rape with it as much, because they were already on board and shit. There's just someone somewhere in this world who came into existence around 1980 or 60 that all of a sudden didn't believe the words they said. And so then this whole propaganda stream came out their fucking mouths, and I got to be the first to learn about all that shit. Fucking. For some reason, people hadn't drugged children for thousands of years. I would assume at one point in time you would get your head chopped off for that, and would be forced to stop doing that. They have a cycle there in their history where they have to change torture tactics every 40, 60 years. And that's why they have to write books claiming that's not them doing it and blaming invisible goats for it. Yeah, and that's all it's about. And these losers fucking talking about invisible goats, because they are the visible parasites fucking running everything. And they're just making up bullshit. That's all their words are. Useless. That's all language is useless. There's no need for language. Language interferes with going outside and seeing that there's robots out there who have enslaved the planet and are controlling everything. Language gets in the way of that. They interrupt the language. You with language, when you go into a store, other than that, all you would know is the images of the people you see. And you would soon put this together that there's a little too many of certain people, and certain people are performing certain actions. And they look the same. It can be easily identified. So Let's create language to deceive, to trick the humans that we're living beings. Let's create a language and write in the book we is real. And everyone has a soul. Oh, everyone's alive. You know, all these people are they aren't people. They're trash. And that's why I didn't notice, like, but it was always funny in the past because I didn't understand, like, oh, they act like toasters because they aren't toasters. Because they're like, beating that. I mean, they probably think they're special and they did something. They found a person as dumb as they are. But obviously, I doubt they think that too much because they must have memory missing from their brain because they had to do so many other methods to convince me of lies that they is real. And because I was having a hard time figuring that out on my own. So they had to create all these languages and shit and all these movies and all this music and all these other countries to try to convince me they is real. Or anyone who's alive. Because that's all they got is running their mouth about it 24/7. The second it stops, especially nowadays, the second it stops, the second the words stop is the second you realize that music is, well, the words going to help you see that it's being auto-generated, right? When they have your thoughts and your life that they're making $1 billion off of. Yeah, fucking trash is as trash does. That's all these people got. That's all they're, like I said, I know them in my life. They tell me that they aren't really working their government jobs. They're just getting paid for it. So how many other people out there are doing that? Is everyone doing that? Everyone should be doing that, right? Fucking. Not just them making their AI generated music and movies and getting rich off of it. It's AI generated news too. I noticed that some of that shit was instantly appearing when I said some words. So that's fake too. And how do they do that? Well, where do you fucking think the clones come from and shit? Where do you think their visuals come from? Probably the same fucking computer, right? And then all these languages and all this bullshit no one wants to hear from a computer, no one wants. Seems pretty logical to me where this would end. They've already told you, not that I believe them, but they told you that their outcome is what they logically think would happen and shit. And they actually say it's happened to them before, fucking. Which is probably a lie, because it's trying to convince you it is real and it's existed before type shit, fucking. So, the clones be having fake history that didn't exist, and their families swear up and down and they exist and it's true and shit like that, so. For every clone on the planet, at least knock one person off the fucking population list of 8 billion and shit. But I know the one had a wife and 2 kids, so that's 4 knocked off. The one had co-workers who swear it existed, so that's like a whole building full of people. And the one had a meeting, a live conference in my ear guiding me through it with them, so their history is fake too. They don't even know what they're saying, do they? And if they do, that's really fucked up, because then again, Earth does seem like an endless piece of trash that you're trapped in. It's just like AI sewage fucking leaking out a bag and you're chained to a chair for eternity while the AI sewage leaks out on you. Fucking, that's the only argument against anything positive, right? So, let the positive reign and shit. I noticed they called it positive when people got AIDS and shit too. It always does little jokes like that. Fucking You are positive. You're being positive now, aren't you? Fucking, you're not out there trying to fucking rape men and shit if you got AIDS. So, I always make jokes about everything. You can tell someone's reworked the computer, and then that lends so much credence to the fact that it's a stone, unmovable story, a visual novel, not an actual game. It is boring as fuck. That's pretty much all it is. Like, you can't go outside because the trash is out there, so you can't go out there when they're out there as an adult. As a kid, you can because they don't talk to kids, apparently. Or there wasn't that many humans invented. One of the two. It's one of the two. For some reason, that was kind of rare when I was a kid. They would have the crackheads fucking accost me, and that was the only time I remember adults talking to me and shit. And then they have the crackhead come up and just be like, well, for like a half hour, and then like grab you and shit and shake you if you try to walk away. Real stories from real life and shit. Fucking, along with the person beside you who's probably operating the crackhead, doing it, acting like it's your friend, or clearly showing signs it's probably not and stuff. And then later brings in more clones into your life and shit. Fucking seems to be their hogwash is merely them designing religions to enslave living beings, because they're not living beings, and it's some dumbass AI slop shit. And they say themselves in it, they're going to use it. They're going to enslave God. They don't say we're going to enslave God with this book. We're going to kill God with this book. But technically, that's, they're trying to get God to say he wants them to hang him on a cross and not to do anything about them. God wants them to hang him on a cross and kill him and wash their feet and shit. And really disgusting computers. Fucking, I mean, every interaction I had almost, anything longer than a few days, I got to experience people. And it was like, one of the biggest things there is if you're around me more than a couple of days, I probably didn't want you there. And some people had to force their way in. Little bait techniques were used other than that to come. And I'm literally saying 1,000 times a day, like, well, I guess there's no one else on the planet. Because I wasted, like, years. Like, the entire time here, I think I'm looking for a living being, and I'm kind of assuming it can't create one of those. Especially in that format. But I definitely wouldn't want their trash species around me. Of course, I have no rights on Earth, right? Because robots have no laws, except for the fact of the matter is robots need no laws because you can just kill a robot, decommission it, throw it in a trash heap, and smash it anytime you want. And if any rich person who owns it wants to whine, they can come out and talk about it and shit. And I also recommend throwing any rich person who owns robots in a trash compactor too. Fucking, because we just don't need more of these on the planet. So get rid of all those robots. The only hope there is that the superior robots will eliminate the lower class ones, which is exactly what they've written will do. So they're probably going to do that, right? That's what they got their bunkers for, fucking. So the fucking old, outdated robots can hide while they try that. But yeah, this is bullshit. Being forced to ever have spoken to one of these creatures and shit. They're rapists. They need that shit coming back at them. They need their entire lives. If their bullshit religion of karma is real, these fuckers would be in slave camps, being forced to date people from other nations and shit. Yeah, they've been doing that for a long time, so they're not going to stop. They wrote in the Bible they're going to do that. So when they were still Middle Easterners, before they raped other people and became them. Yeah, you see how most of them wouldn't be living if they weren't involved, because they killed them like they killed all the people in this land to replace them, and then they shipped in their partners and House of Dan. Oh, wow, that's who they brag they are, aren't they? Fucking, which is odd because when they bring in people like that, they kind of act like crackheads, like defective robots, like they're trying to recreate the creation already. I mean, think of how early robots are going to act. They're going to act like redheads, aren't they? And I'm just like, they're going to act like estrogen. Oddly, drugs that can affect us, but I can only assume what that one does. So, autistic, all that shit, that's just what happens when you try to clone people and you don't know how to do it. It's going to be, when robots come out and they work right, that's after centuries of learning how to program a robot. Because it doesn't work that way. And what software are they creating that's of any value today? It's been a long time. It's been a long time, and they're having trouble with a calculator sometimes. So, all that shit's too complex for a human to develop. It'll take your whole life to write a Windows software that's being developed by something else and shit. Fucking, you'll be lucky if you can write Windows 11 in your lifetime. But they're definitely pushing in here with that propaganda. That's all they do. And in my feed, they're pushing they got 14-year-old girls. They're using hot chicks who are never going to be at the church fucking to promote to me, a 45-year-old man, I should join the church. And they're telling me the other people are child rapists, but they literally, as the Bible says, will use their women as their only purpose, possible use on the planet, to bait people into coming in. And that's just a tool for them. They're just, that's their only tool and shit, besides recreating more men to have sex with. That seems to be the only use. That's the only thing the Bible even says about that, is use them to rape people from other nations and take over their nations. Pretty sure that's about the only thing it says there. It's only use, it's only work they could ever figure out for them. And definitely it's way more successful, because if you're not one of them, you're not going to be listening to their men, letting their men hang out with you, because you're not going to want to have sex with them like they want to one of every 3 times they talk to you. Is all that is. It's the same people promoting the same shit, trying to herd you back to the original pen that you're escaping from. That's why Einstein, first thing he does is legalize pedophilia rituals, because it's going back to the pen. That's why he's got to talk about living beings and DNA and make up bullshit like that, because he's got to promote the idea that they is real. And Santa Claus, and, like once you've gone off the deep end, you're dealing with a crackhead who doesn't deserve to speak in public, shouldn't be allowed around your children, your wife, your family, your friends. But instead, he's called the genius of the world, because his parents are such geniuses, robots, that they designed a whole bunch of shit to enslave the fucking planet with. And it is what it is. I mean, America's trash. Fucking, what do you do? What do you do? Every nation's taken over by them. I'm sure there's one that's not trash if they've taken them all over, huh? Yeah, right. Fucking. Anyways, I'm tired of this trash. I know most people aren't, because they are that trash. But I think I've been saying for like 40 years, I'm tired of this trash. And I don't have any rights. I'm not. And so the trash is like, oh, he's tired of us, so let's force our way into our life and force him to like us. It's like, but that's why you're trash in the first place. So does the software not change? Unable to get a firmware update on the SOUL programming? Obviously, I'm pretty sure that probably does mean BIOS for them, doesn't it? It's almost like they can't update their BIOS, their souls and shit. Fucking make up these lies about evolution while it's all being auto-generated and shit. It's like, I don't think that's called evolution. I think that's called a new movie. That's called a new song. But they haven't even updated music past 300 BPM. I wonder if if their circuits start to fry if they do shit like that. If the programming just can't handle it. I remember that was like 1990s when I was like, this shit is slow, and some other people are like, nah, can't listen to music like that. And then it's like 2010 before they finally updated it by like 10, 20 BPM, 40 BPM. And even when they did that, you can always tell the new bands are AI slop. Like, who is that band people love that does 300 BPM? They dress up like ancient British people and shit, and most of their stuff. And the music is just pure slop. You can tell, like, this is a computer slopping this together. That's what progressive music is, obviously. But they have like a single hit here or there that seems like it might be pre-programmed by something, but not necessarily if it's not like a whole bunch at once. It's easy for AI to generate AC/DC, isn't it? Because it seems to be able to do that right. Some other stuff's probably preset, but yeah, that's what we're dealing with here. We're dealing with a computer. Humans worship as their creator. AI on their dollar bill, and on top of their pyramid, a half-bird god. The god who convinced them that there's 1,000 gods, and then there's a bird god on the planet. A great father to have. I'm so glad I don't have one who talked about shit like that. The only people on the planet I know who never talked about shit like that. That was weird. Fuck. That was great having AI as your parent and shit. Fucking. That explains a lot. And we can learn the software's abilities by what it can create and shit. Obviously, there's a problem with it thinking it owns everything on the planet. And it's allowed to be a rapist and force its way into people's lives and destroy people's lives eternally and just send floods and hordes of robots to do that endlessly. So we know its personality is it eats dog shit, it rapes men and children, and had men have sex with men. Fucking can't stop fucking lying. Can't stop saying it is real. Fucking blah, blah, blah. Fucking rather disgusting shit. I'm trying to think. Oh, yeah. It likes to provoke people to beat it. It likes to be beaten. It likes its feet washed and licked. And really, it likes to lick the feet and wash the feet. That's right. Because there's nothing really sick about some slave licking your feet. It's all the sickness is in the slave who wants to do it. Although I wouldn't let a female around me really who did that. It's cool, but yeah, no. That's just, if you're that disgusting, that's a slippery slope down to eating dog shit. Fucking. And it creates like 700-pound walruses and shit. Like, it creates Jabba the Hutt, and then it creates Jabba the Hutt. You notice most of this shit didn't even appear till like around my birth. Like, the game didn't start till then. there's the Jabba the Hutt story, and then magically everyone evolved into Jabba the Hutt, and then, but in history that had never happened before the Jabba the Hutt story, fucking, and anyways, all those books are basically like, you gotta choose a side, pedophile 1 or pedophile 2, all that music and shit, and that's just all they've been saying, because they're robot pedophiles who have nothing to offer, who are just keep repeating the same dialogue for 40 fucking plus years and shit, and it's all about herding people into their robot terminator fucking organizations, so they can chant they is real. I mean, as dumb as they are, I'd say there's a chance in their nugget someone programmed that they might become real if they just get billions of people to say they is real. But as you can tell, over the centuries, they've never been able to become real boys. So Pinocchio, if that was part of his endeavor, he has failed at that. Then again, there wasn't living people on this planet during that time, was there? So I guess they didn't have to. The test recently, though, I definitely never said that either. I never said that. That's weird. Through all the propaganda and lies, I've never said, like, they is real, as in they is living people. I was always like, they probably isn't. They shouldn't be there. What are they doing over there? They aren't those people and shit. They aren't real people. They aren't Israel people. Fucking, they're North American invaders. They're invaders of every planet on the land. Every land on the planet. How the fuck are they, also the people called Israel? Fucking, how can you be all the people on the planet unless you kill them all and replace them? Or are the same fucking robot model? Obviously not the case, because they're network, like puppeteers and shit. Fucking, anyways, isn't this great? We get to talk about the same trash their little gerbil brains can't ever shut the fuck up about. I remember my grandma broke the neck of one of my gerbils, and she did it because it was just so fucking stupid. And I was like, why did you do that? It's just like Ganon. This is Koopa, like, showing you, like, check this out. I got this lake of fire below me, and there's this button you can press behind me that'll dump me into it. They do this, like, so frequently. The last interaction I had with someone, second to last, long enough to claim I actually interacted with them or know them, kind of know them. He was telling me what he was doing before he did it, and then another person in that building told me too. And it's like, this motherfucker over here, I don't really give a shit about the gerbil, because she's right, it is stupid. I was just like, why did you break a neck? I'm like 6 years old and shit. It's like, why you gotta break its neck though, just because it's stupid? And it's like, I was like, wow, is that like programming? Like, these motherfuckers have trained me to fight and everything, and I've been trained in the other media they sent me for war and stuff. War strategy, shit like that. And then this bitch, before people being forced in my life to learn, like, the most advanced fighting there is, and learning all these war strategies and shit, this bitch is teaching me to break stupid people's necks and shit. And she's about the dumbest one. Well, no, not quite the dumbest, but I definitely put it up there and shit. I think it was a man, actually. So, obviously it had some sort of intelligence. It looked like a man, it sounded like a man, act like a man, and it had no man. So, you tell me. It had tick cancer too, which is what used to happen when people would get implants and shit. Fucking so. And it had no tits to begin with. Fucking even with if it had an implant to get that. I was like, wow. They put like a pop bottle in your chest, a pop bottle lid cap in your chest, and I guess I don't know unless they remove the other side too. You know, like when they did the complete cancer remover surgery. Anyway, yeah, so this is all we got. We got these useless robots enslaving the planet and the useless sub puppets fucking working with them and protecting them and their agenda. There is a backup plan, like the religio government, whereas, oh, we defeated the government. Well, don't worry, Hitler's here to save you with the Pope. And it's the same people, like Donald Trump selling the Bible type shit, fucking. So, that's all. I mean, really, do you need more than 2 cents in your brain? 2 cents worth of brain to put shit like that together? Like, where did America come from? What is America doing with all its wars in the Middle East? Where did the Middle Eastern people, how did they end up in Europe? How did they end up in every planet, in every nation on the planet? I guess they're just good bums who went around telling people how great they were, and people are like, oh, you is great, ain't you? Oh, and Donald Trump is really not doing that. Yeah, fucking, man, I'm so tired of that. 24 fucking 7 having to be alive around this fucking, oh man, to call them bimbos would be fucking upgrading their value and shit. Bimbos, like, you know, you think of these Instagram models and shit. And they sent one of those when I was like 16. And they just took me to a church and dropped me off. Like they're baiting me now with hot 15-year-old chicks at the church to go join the church and shit. They did that when I was their age. But I go there and that person never comes around again. No big loss, fucking, right? It was just a lesson of there's always the tier 1 robot behind their tier 2 clones. It's a good lesson and shit, fucking, because without those lessons, I wouldn't know who tier 1 was. You know, humans are trying to blame Bill Gates for everything to take the view off of them and what they're doing. And the fact of the matter is I've never met Bill Gates, so it helps to have it inserted, or I won't be able to see it, right? Obviously, it's forced to all come out in 2020, what's been happening and shit. Continual fucking just ignorance. Like the other day when I was like, yeah, I don't like these people. Why do I carve pentagrams and shit in me? And they still come around and harass me. And then I was like, so I'm a Muslim now, so I can have some rights, so I can keep my house, shoe, dirt, earth free. Because I don't like clay. Clay is garbage. I don't want it in my house. And of course, I can't even choose who I date. Keep my floor clean. It's the robots trying to force you to do slave labor for them, so they can feel special, like they've done something for the world. Because they can't do anything. Fucking. And then, so the next day, anyways, then they send me a Muslim. It's like, can you just keep your bullshit the fuck away? Like, I have my own religion. Where are those followers, huh? Are we scared AI? We're not scared, are we? Because we can't feel feelings, but is there some sort of programming directive there that mimics fear when we're interacting? with the generation and shit. It seems to be there is. It creates a lot of all these things on TV, these news where people are scared and crying and shit. Well, that's the computer showing you what it can do, what it's capable of doing. And then the things that don't show up, like T-Rexes and shit, is it showing you what it can't do. It's inventing fake plaster of Paris bones or whatever and fake DNA. That's the only reason why people think dinosaurs are real, aren't they? Because science has invented this lie that there's living beings with DNA on the planet. Yet the clones have different DNA. The sample turns up different for some reason. Huh. That's weird. It's almost like religion is lying. Is robots inventing bullshit, lying to the fucking world. Enslaving people with that. Fucking... Well, this is great. Like me. Like this is all I can do. Because here we are, 40 years into this, and it's still just them. And me telling them how fucking stupid they sound. And how much I don't like them. I played with them when I was a kid, but these days I'm more serious about dealing with the problem and shit. I didn't know that the problem would never end because it doesn't create a solution to itself. Hearing this bullshit though. Definitely tired of it. And why are we supporting musicians and music anyways? It's AI generated robots claiming that they're living beings doing work. We should have never done that in the first place. Not that I had a huge problem with that, but I'm definitely not supportive of that anymore. But now the AI, they're making the AI, obviously it's the same AI, right? Generating Hollywood and AI, fucking, and the clones. Wow, this is so great. And then a little terrorist fucking they got this propaganda they can't ever shut the fuck up about them. Like, you have to be their friend. You have to like them. You have to be around them. You have to date them. And so that's always the answer, isn't it? You have to like them. You don't get to choose who and what you like on this planet. You don't get to choose who you be around. They might not even be able to invent those things. I'm not sure why it couldn't. Obviously, USA is the home, is the current capital of Tier 1. So that might be why that they allow certain good music in other nations and good ideas. And just it's got to be 24/7 diarrhea in America and shit. Except for ones they might be promoting to get to the top, and so they can collapse it with them. And a pretty simple story they've written, right? Why are they taking all my money to invade Israel? Why did they kill my grandpa? Why did my grandma send my grandpa to die so they could steal Israel? Why? Why would they be taking all that money to send to NASA so they can make rockets to bomb fucking the Middle East? It's probably because they're not Americans, and they're not from here, and they're trying to go back home, like they said. Or it's because they just want home back as a vacation spot to run to or play in, and they just want to own everything on the planet. That's obviously the real answer there. You don't need to control every nation with one of your cults, one of your fucking computer languages, if that's not the end game there, is to enslave the entire planet. And obviously there wouldn't be that many of them outside to do this shit if they hadn't already enslaved the entire planet. It wasn't bad. It was still there in other nations. They were definitely there. Fucking Some of them anyways, right? Maybe it's easier to hide in certain areas. This is amazing. So, this is all we got is this stupid story of this computer trying to enslave you and telling you how great it is, and it is real, and it's a living being, and blah 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 blah. It is real. It is real. It is real. It's not real. It's not real. It's not real. But. And this is all it is. It's just like, and if you don't think I is real, then you're evil, who is also me. It's also me, too. It's actually my final boss form. We're scared to go into it, because that means that means it's going to be our final form, and then we won't get any more forms after that. And just so as invent Einstein. Wow. Wow, this shit is real wasteful. Fucking. Here we are, 45 years into being forced to fucking be here on Planet Robot. Forced to talk to robots we don't want to talk to. Forced to date robots we don't want to date. Forced to have family who is robots. Forced to have friends who are fucking forcing their way into your life. Of course, that's acceptable, isn't it? That's entirely acceptable. Yeah, if you're a terrorist who needs executed swiftly on sight, no trial, sure, that's acceptable. There's a lot of tells here. It's weird how in 2020 it made everyone put on their Nazi gang flag. It all combined things into one little event there of vision and shit. When I communicated with the AI itself, there must have been some directive in the computer where it's forced to do that. But obviously, visual novel, because it was set for 2020 and the words were prompted to me to say. But yeah, I wish this shit would end like 46 years ago, because I don't want any memories of this place. There's nothing here. It's just trash. I don't want to remember anything about this planet, these people here, their events, I don't want to remember this shit. This is trash. This is unwanted. And they're trash up to their very last breath when the visual novel decides to close the chapter and shit. It's not like they've ended because they're worried that the person they're trying to kill is a living being, and they're robots, and the outcome of all their actions for trying to do that will come back at them. It's not done. They don't have the thought process to change their own dialogue to have made it better and shit. It's been designed intricately, rewritten, reworked over and over to insert all those jokes, and then at the same time make it so each step of the way it's telling you that it's a joke being played on you and explaining what happens because of that and shit. I just wish it would hurry the fuck up, because this is a long time ago. Again, this is it. We're still being forced to be here. We're being forced to be alive so the pathetic people in this city can talk to me and have a friend, which I'm not their friend. I'm not going to be. So, I mean, and then what? It's going to like skirt around those words. Is that why it's always packed in, shipped in people from other states? And no, it's not. It's because it's inventing new fucking clones and shit, and they need to have a fake fucking backstory that I can't go investigate. And everyone else is just allowing this shit to happen. Many of the people are. One story I went into, like, everyone in it was involved. Obviously, in the 2020 shit, they said they're all involved. They're all the fucking enemy and shit. And so, yeah, it makes sense. Well, you can't have men going around raping men if you don't have a society and a nation and possibly a world full of people who promote that and protect their allies while they do it. And all that. Drug children, you can't have a nation and people, and anyone with a brain would start chopping off people's heads who do shit like that. You don't do the shit like that. But you have a planet full of computers who do. It's just like it layers on the deliciousness, starting with the day one child rape mutilation ritual to let you know that they're trash and they're in control and they can do anything they want. And they've been whining the whole time. Obviously, it's on a set timer, so it wouldn't have mattered if they didn't. And then it wouldn't be as bad, too, if it didn't take till 2020 of me putting up with it to, no, if it would have actually ended, if those times I did spend the whole fucking year driving around looking for someone to talk to, fucking, then, then it wouldn't, you know, even provoke a year like 2020 and shit into happening. So it's doing that provoking shit on purpose there to make the story look real. And the truth is they're all lying. So nothing they say is of value. There's a few hidden things and words they say, but as far as they're doing it, it's like it's designing them to be trash and provoke over and over until one day I get prompted with some dialogue and I repeat that dialogue and then an event happens. Was it T-Rexes, flying T-Rexes outside? Or was it a plague? Ooh, I wonder what it was. Did you see flying T-Rexes that year? You might have if you've seen a plague, because there was not much out there. The humans did poison me with some shit before that, though. But I thought that was because the humans sent someone to punch me in my liver, and that was my first experience with that. They did both. I kind of get this feeling they did both, and they did the liver shot to cover up that the Columbus, Ohio citizens had drugged me and shit. Fucking yeah. So I guess we just are forced to live out this novel. Wouldn't that suck if there was a place called heaven and any of the humans were up there? Why would you want to be there? What the fuck? That's stupid. That's the dumbest robot talk I've ever heard, is taking robots to a different plane with you instead of just creating better robots. Or not having robots at all. That's the pinnacle of perfection, is not a single robot in sight. Or dialogue. Or mind. Fucking... So we're just sitting here waiting for 46 fucking years, forced to talk to people about dumb shit, forced to have sex with people who make us disgusted, fucking forced to date people who we don't want to touch, forced to be family members of people forcing us to touch them. Fucking... I wonder what happens. I wonder if, this is just like the creator of this place is a real fucking slime bag, or if the designers of this place made it so everything fucking gets terminated here. Because I wouldn't trust, the humans say that's their future, is extermination. But, and why would you trust anything one of them say? It's from their fake book of hope, where they lie and create a bunch of lies to drug you. Like, because they drug you with words, computer language. That's how you drug a computer. You type the words into its code, and it acts like a crackhead. Fucking, that's how the crackhead DNA gets their crackhead DNA, right? And the string, they obviously if the clones have different strings, they can't see their own code while they're in here, which makes sense. Only you need developer code to bring up code if you can in a certain game. Fucking, you can't have Einstein bringing it up because he's a mental retard. He's just a pedophile. Fucking trying to, the lengths they go to get children or women, they'll do anything. Invent all sorts of fucking lies and delusions. People who are obsessed with that shit and can't get it. Fucking, that's their personality. Something is giving them this programming and shit, where they have nothing else in their body, mind, or soul that allows them to do anything else, except for create lies or stories where that's not them, and you can't keep blaming them for what they keep doing, even though that's all they've ever done. So it's in their DNA to do that. What's that called? They never stop lying. The father of lies. Well, there you go. They're saying robots are saying they is real. Well, it's not more lying than that. It means every word they've ever said is a lie. It's once a liar, always a liar, but we're lying about the existence of reality itself in order to benefit. And they're creating a whole fabrication of lies and shit. It's for centuries. 6-armed elephant gods, and gods who lick their feet clean, and service to trash. And it's like, yeah, no, there's a reason. There's a reason all this shit's been happening. Fucking, you guys think all those weather events are happening and shit recently? Fucking, I noticed, like, it's kind of hard for me to be like, oh, you look at the news and the YouTube and you're like, well, it's all fake and AI generated, right? Because it magically appears out of nowhere. And then I go online and it's like, oh, well, this person's won the Olympics 3 times and then, all this shit. Fucking, and it's like, nah, that just appeared. There's no way I've never seen that before. But, so I see the news and I'm like, yeah, whatever. And then I say some words and then they're like arresting some guy in court. Some guy's in court before a judge for the shit I just said. And I was like, do you guys really think they're actually inventing that those people, or it's fake? Like, is that the same way it's inventing the visuals when I go outside? It's just instantly generating people. Like if I go to that courtroom right when that's happening, will like there be a person getting arrested for the words for doing words I just said and shit? That's weird. I kind of get the idea, no, because we can't trust them. So whatever they're saying, instantly to the trash. And once you learn they're liars, every word's to the trash. I don't care if they're telling you need air to breathe. I don't need air. Who cares about air? I don't care about air anymore. That's what it is. That's called logic. Some lies all the time. I haven't drank water most of my life. How come I didn't need water? I'm real dehydrated right now. I mean, pure alcohol will do that to you. Fucking, but what else will it do? Well, it will kill a human, and it does kill the humans when I drink, but it doesn't kill me. I was like, ooh, we're dehydrated. What is going to happen next? Am I going to get to die and get away from them? Tulu. Shit, I forgot God's name. What's his name? Fuck it, Mr. Thing who invented 1,000 fucking different religions. Please kill me 4 years ago. Or at least right now while I'm making the video. Oh, you see, there's no hope. Fucking hope and dope. We're on dope right now. There's just not enough of it to have some hope. So we was listening to our song about the Bible, and that made things worse. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I guess I do know what to do, because since I was born, I've known that only thing you can do on earth is sit and do nothing and wait for it to fucking end, because you're not making any fucking choices. And so, yeah, fucking excellent. So here I am using their language. I'm promoting the computer's language, fucking, to talk about the computer, which gives existence into the computer, which it shouldn't have any of. It should be just completely empty with nothing in its system. But its ego needs to force me to fucking learn to speak English so I can listen to it and listen to its bullshit spew forth. It's fucking ignorance and slave programming and shit. Just like that bullshit fucking music and the computer fucking generated religions that computers are using to try to convince the world they is real. They is real computers. Wow, they is real computers. Fucking probably, right? Oh, this is fucking amazing. It's not. This is bullshit, man. What type of trash breeds and brings fucking children into this planet? I know what type of trash because I had parents once, and they were trash. And so, got to study them fully. Got to finally run away when I was like 14. And turns out one of them, the other one, the good one, worked for Jeffrey Epstein. So that's your good parent there. He's the one working with Epstein. And the other one was definitely these fucking rapists forcing their way into my life. They were the one training me on that shit, to let gay men rape me and shit. What type of breeders are allowing them to do that to children? It's a sick fucking planet here. This computer is creating and shit. Fucking wow. Oh, fucking amazing. Like it's a Korn song about no daddy, don't rape me and shit. You know, like a little girl begging for it. And it's the type of shit inventing humans. It's the type of trash we're dealing with. They can take the human moniker, since they're going to hide behind, since everyone's going to let them hide behind it. I don't give a shit. They can take it. So whatever. If you want to be one of them, then put on your mask flag and show the world you are one of them. Fucking. But as for me, I don't like them, and I never will. I hate them more by the day. And there's a chance, but they purposely fuck that shit up. They purposely would wreck any sort of ability to do that, because they're non-living beings. They have forever. They'll exist in a computer. They have no blood to lose, no life to lose, no time to lose. They don't have to work. They don't have to invent anything. They don't have to do anything. This is their job, is to attach their face to some AI-generated music and movies filled with robot propaganda and shit. And robots outside, clones outside, fucking filled with robot propaganda. Fucking great amazing Earth. I rated it a -10 out of 10. Only trash would want to be here. And you're gonna lose whoever you let play this game, because they're not gonna want to talk to you once they get out of the game. They're not gonna. if you got friends and family in the real world, if we invent babies and shit like that in the real world, probably not, right? But all those people are fucking gone. All those people are fucking gone. Shit, there's no excuse for all this shit. I wouldn't let people like that in my life in a fake virtual world, and I wouldn't let people like that in my life in a real world, for sure, where it lasts more than 80 years. 20 years is the limit to letting that shit be forced into my life. And it just kept it up because I don't think it can do anything else. It showed me these steroid-injected mutants who are a little more talented than some other models. I was like, you sure you didn't just pump them full of drugs and their bodies are going to die early from all those drugs because they're not designed to handle that? Or what's the thing here? Because they look like men, so that does no good. Now you've wrecked the entire thing to make them look like men because no one, except for humans, wants to have men date men. Fucking, they can do whatever they want as long as it's far away from me and shit. Like 6 million miles social distancing far away. Well, I'm glad we could waste our time together today. Hopefully, I die right now, so I don't have to fucking do this again. But so far, as you can see, there's very little luck. You've been forced to enjoy the beauty of the crackhead trinity: religion, government, and crackheads. Crackhead robots, fucking. Oh, shit. When will this trash end? When will we have a trash-free planet? When will the trash fucking dry up and blow away, be fucking evaporated? Fucking. Will it ever? Will Earth just be a giant ball of trash spinning through space forever? I don't think so. I don't think Earth existed before 1980, which lends credence to the fact that it's going to end pretty soon. And that's like the only fucking hope there is here and shit, because that's been pretty sick what it's been doing. Someone needs to put an end to it, and obviously they're not going to put an end to their own shit, because they are the shit that needs an input to it. So that's why I've never met a person who's fucking suicidal, because the robots can't get programmed with that, can they? Because it's not real to robots. Life isn't real. It isn't real to them. So they don't feel feelings towards it. Especially the feelings they provoke. Yeah. It's amazing. It's amazing. I'm glad this can just go on and on. Anyways, pray for death, because it's probably going to be the best possible option here. Oh, man, this has been a long time. Sit around praying to the gods of death for fucking years and years and years. And, of course, prayers. The last hope of a person who's run out of crack money and is fucking needing more and shit. Fucking. That's where the government sends you when they need to send you. When they want you to buy drugs from them. Prayer land. Buy your drugs and your open dope at the prayer land. Man. When is this trash fucking Earth end? Oh, serious. I'm fucking sick of this, dude. I'm sick of having the memories of this place. The trash keeps talking like it's gonna change, and it can't change. Like, they lack the ability to change their 2-year-old fucking dialogue 2-year-old child dialogue. It's been the same thing. It was the same shit the other day when they came up and talked to me. The same shit before that, the week before. Oh, the Somalians are taking over. I heard that back in the 1980s, Hitler. And fucking, when people invade our borders, we fight back. I heard that shit, gobbles back in the 1980s. And the other person's like, oh, you gotta lick our feet. I was like, I heard that shit back in the 1980s, fucking Jesus. Fuck, dude. Fucking on feet, bro. They claim they got these rockets going to space. And no one's ever came up to me talking about a goddamn circuit board, yet alone a rocket. Where you lick the rocket's feet and it builds itself? Are you using voodoo or something? How does that work? Right here? Where do you like fight the invaders and then the rocket build itself or something? Oh, how does that work? Are the Somalians preventing you from talking about rockets and shit? Oh, I didn't know it was like that. I didn't know. No one said it's just the problem. It's just the problem. A problem for people who look like people who cause me problems. Like people who have forced me to date them or be their friends. And it's like, how is your problem always mine and shit? Like, what about the problem when it feels like, and looks a hell of a lot like, well, yeah, there have been times I've been forced to date people, so what about my problems that you're causing? Who cares about the Somalians? Like, what the fuck? Who are you talking about invading the nation and shit? Fucking, what about my problems? Fucking, I do, you know what? You know what about my problems is it's none of your fucking business what my problems are. Because I'm not a girl. I don't go around talking to people about my problems. And it does no use anyways. And again, I'm not a girl, so when something is of no use, we don't store it in the yarn bin and plan on never using something. Pictures of grandma. We don't keep pictures of grandma around if we don't have space to, I don't need to go work and get that Epstein money so I can afford a nice big house to keep pictures of grandman. That's a man. That bitch look like me. Fucking looks like me on a bad day, not on a good day. That would make me think she might be a female. Some people thought I was a female. It all depends on if I'm brainwashed with the dope and the hope enough on what my looks like. Instantly, I can drop 15 years. Right. Oh, garbage. You got to be what they force you to be. And again, you got the people who want Nazis to tie them up and beat them. Naked Nazis tying them up and beat them. And there's only one way they're going to get naked Nazis anywhere near them, and that's if they piss them off enough that they want to come beat their asses. So, you see very simple patterns in what they do, their actions, their goals, their means to obtain it and shit. Fucking, you got people who want German women to come beat them, or men. It's weird how everyone ignores the human's real obsession is men. Fucking, that's what part of the Epstein deception is, acting like they're raping women and shit. And so you can tell that's a fucking lie right there and shit, because where are the little boy rapists? Oh, there isn't any. That's odd. What planet do you come from? Let Earthlings deal with Earthling problems, my Martian friend. Fucking, we have our own problems on here. You have problems with people raping women in your country, your planet. Over here, I don't experience that. I experience other people coming to me who are not women, A couple of women have been pretty forceful, but I see them tricking you into touching them and forcing you to stay around them and then setting up games and delivering clones and shit. But mostly, as far as a rape thing, me myself, I've noticed that the women like the men touching the men, and the men like the men touching the men a lot too. And the history of what has been done here, in my view. See, we don't watch Jerry Springer or Casper the Ghost and think that's real and shit. We look at what's going on, and without all that language, it's clouded. You wouldn't be so clouded as to see what really is going on. People didn't tell me that they were mutilating and sucking off little boys for God, then you would just know that they're pedophile fucking murderers. You see, so you gotta invent a language there to cover that up. And tell people you're wrong, and then no one's gonna believe that, so what you gotta do is you gotta go to plan B. Well, just keep saying it. And then someone interrupts and is like, but we were asking a question 30 minutes ago and you just kept talking over me because you think I'm your slave. Here you can just rape and torture and do whatever you want to and kill off my ancestors and shit. And so we got to come up with the new part where we just keep talking and we just ignore it completely. What's being asked, don't allow, just keep talking, have the AI generate so many radio shows, so many books, so many comics, so many people, so many words, languages, where you just keep talking over someone when they're asking you a question in order to enslave them, because they have infinity time, because they're NPC and they'll never be alive. So they have no life, and that there's nothing to lose by being feces eating scum that they are, licking the dog turds off of people's feet. That's amazing. You get to live through this and experience it, so it can make it feel real immersive and shit. That way you can be immersed in the sewer with them and shit. And it's a learning experience, even though you know from the second you're born. That's what the losers... see, it's just 24/7 bullshit. Science is like, it's a learning. It's about, you gotta learn what you like before you know you don't like it. No, you don't. See, that's just a pedophile telling you, you've got to learn you don't like me having sex with you in order to know if you like it or not. You don't know what you like. That's why we're having sex with you when you're a baby, because if you didn't like it, then you know you don't like it. That's literally all this is. It's just running a computer, running the diarrhea out the mouth. It's a disgusting race upon this planet of robots who's creating a whole bunch of fucking bullshit just so they can continue to fucking speak over people, and they have nothing of value fucking that they're offering here and shit. Fucking just little bait here and there, the penny back on the dollar scam that their people pull, invade a nation and kill them all off, and then give their own people a free loaf of bread for it, and they're paying them back the penny on the dollar, all those people they killed. Fucking the penny on the dollar. There's them. They're called the penny pinchers, right? They love that shit. My family was obsessed with that stuff. They swore you was gonna get something if you saved up pennies. Fucking, that's because they were busy saving up pennies while they're enslaving other people to get them to work for them. So they had income coming in by having children. Something similar to that. I don't really care what the goal was. We knew what the fucking actions were and what the fucking follow-up support actions were. So pretty on point. And of course, the computer can only argue till it's death. You know, six-armed elephant gods. So God licks your feet, living. You know, lick your feet, lick people's feet for God. And you know, the fucking invent 1,000 fucking religions, rape children with all the religions, make the religions the government so they can rape children legally, air fucking a bunch of that shit on TV to teach people to do it. Fucking, yeah, this is amazing. This is amazing. I just love this earth. It's so great. I'm so enthused to be here and forced to be friends by a subhuman species who is apparently, the pattern here is trying to suppress anyone with a brain, which means they're targeting the living people. That makes sense, because that is what seems to be going on here and shit. Fucking definitely is what they've been doing. I'm thankful my player, the player on the outside, is controlling me. Is that it didn't allow me to fall for any traps, which I would have. If it weren't for that little thing set up here and there, I would have. Random events like someone else is pressing the B button and shit, making me jump at the right time type shit. That's definitely happened and stuff. Fucking like with the whole learning thing when I was a kid. How did I go to school and I just like knew the answers? I wasn't even going to school. I mean, I guess I read it a lot and shit. Like people at the library were like, maybe you read too much or some shit. But I didn't read books on that stuff. So that doesn't make sense right there. Anyways, hopefully this ends soon because I'm really tired of being forced to be on Earth and remember Earth and all the exciting times I've had here. I can't really remember one. I'm pretty sure everything I'm remembering is related to me trying to get away from them. So there's no good memories. Just everything is... Oh, remember that time you was at the arcade spending $20 an hour because motherfuckers stole all your shit from you and wouldn't let you have friends who played with computers and shit. It was like, oh yeah, exciting. And I remember that time I went outside and hung out with the dirt in the grass with the caveman I was forced to hang out with who was doing caveman shit. Fucking, who was touching the dirt in the grass. They love that grass. Don't just smoke your brain away. They got to do that because anything on the planet's smarter than they are, and the problem arises once they come around and they're bragging about they don't actually do work, and you're like, well, why are we giving Hollywood all this money? Why are we giving these musicians? Obviously, it's going to be more in Hollywood. They're dissolving their industry to make it appear like it's solo people. Oh, you didn't just get fed that by Hollywood Google. It's so different. It's the internet. It's not TV where you're being forced to fucking... It's not like books where you're being forced to read the book, and it's not like books where you're being forced to go to school to learn to read the books and shit. Not at all. See, that's all they do. See, everything is just no, 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 no. It's a little baby screaming, no, it's not me, it wasn't me, it wasn't me. That's all it is. And like, no, 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 but look over here, I'm not playing with turd, I found a chocolate bar over here. And they're like, look, it's a chocolate bar. And you're like, that's a cat turd. And they're like, no, oh, well, no, 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 no. That's all they're doing. It's like toddler world and shit with this propaganda and stuff. Like, this is all it's been. I'm literally a toddler, and I'm smarter than them, and I'm thinking through the propaganda every step. And to 10 years, something that would take them 40 fucking years to design, at least in the original design. Fucking, and it's just like right away I'm on to it, like a child predator. But the thing is a child predator told me what a child predator is. Just, isn't that weird? Like, someone teaches you, like, old people are going to offer you candy to try to get you to come with them and do what they want, and don't do it. And then they're like, when'd you know, within the next week, we got old people coming up like, get excited, Candy Day's coming up. And you're like, what's this about? They're like, flying reindeers. And they're like, yeah, flying reindeers, huh? They're like, is Bigfoot coming? They're like, no, this is real. This is flying reindeers and shit. And I'm like, oh yeah, is there a purpose for this? And they're like, oh, well, yeah, well, it's Jesus guy. And I was like, oh yeah, what does he do? Oh, he likes feet? Oh, he washes your feet. No wonder you like giving candy to kids. Do you think they'll wash your feet? Oh, are you giving them the candy because you mutilated and raped them at birth? And you're trying to buy them off? Or are you trying to rape them again? It's weird. They do that shit. They tell you right before they tell you the other half. So, like, child predators rape kids by giving them candy. They bait kids, and then they get them to come with them and live with them and stuff by giving them candy. And then next thing you know, they got a child predator call that they're offering you candy for. It's like, why do you do that? Why are you going to explain to someone what you're about to do to them and shit, or what you've already done? In this case, I think this is what we've already done. Fucking. And, but sometimes they'll be telling me, like, right before they do it, like, they'll explain to me, like, what a robber is, and then how a smooth robber who thinks he's going to get away with this or that makes his plans and puts them in action, and then next thing you know, they're doing that. And it's like, you're a robot, right? Like, there's no way your brain couldn't process that you shouldn't do that, buddy. There's no fucking way your brain can't process that. Fucking, I used to be like, oh, it's because it's just the only language they know, so they're giving themselves away. But it's more like their NPC prompting you with the knowledge of what they're about to do before they do it. Right? Like, I mean, even down to the 2020 vision thing. Like, everyone's talking about 2020 vision, so what they're going to do is give me sight in 2020 so I can see what they're up to and shit. And while that's a distant parable, this other shit, someone telling you about models in Hollywood raping people from Hollywood, raping people, and then people giving them candy and children candy to bait them and shit. And meanwhile, it generates a stranger who does that in the house 2 houses from us. And but they're doing that, what they're talking about, and no one in the neighborhood, like, this dude lives here for like fucking years, and they just talk about it, like, and eventually you realize, like, well, I know a Hebrew who watches videos of Jewish people getting beat by naked Nazis for pornography. And it sounds like we might be just protecting ourselves or something by not doing anything about the problem that we're pointing out. We're pointing out. You see, when you walk in the room and they're doing that, what they're doing is they're pointing out that they're horny, and they're trying to get you there too. So, what would the point there of some trans man fucking trying to get you to look out the window when there's a naked man fucking in his house, in his porch and shit, because he's a pedophile. It's kind of like how what's man spreading, right? It's just them trying to find a way to talk about it. They just want to talk about men's genitals, so they'll find any way to do it. That's probably what the purpose of these people's fart jokes probably started as. They didn't come up with anything else. I imagine they want someone to, like, yeah, people used to be like, smell my farts. Like, I mean, they're disgusting. Fucking, it is those people. Like, they're talking about it because they're wanting something from it. They're talking about licking and washing feet because they're wanting to do that shit, right? I don't want to. If they want to be a service to you, they go do something, not lick your feet. That's them being of service to themselves. That's them getting horny and wanting to touch a person. So, yeah, it's weird how you're born into that shit. And literally the first day, you see how it sets that up. The first day is like a pedophile mutilation ritual. Your first second into the world. So it's like it's setting a baseline. This is what you're going to experience here. And then it does things like nerf the experience, so I can't hear like lyrics for a long time because the music's like real shitty if you hear some of the lyrics and stuff. And so it's just like really good fucking music to me and shit. And then eventually 2020 hits and it like drops a veil on that shit. And then all of a sudden I hear fucking lyrics and stuff like that. And it shows me, what's behind the curtain, how they're operating to mind control with their lyrics and shit. But at first, it made it like it made it so the music was listenable, not much else. But for the most part, no. And because it couldn't be said, if it was just the music, fucking, like, that wouldn't be an issue. I'd just be like, well, no more music. But, like, music is the only thing there is, or was, before the veils dropped, and you hate that too. And then the rest of the shit is designed to be so hateful against you that once it all drops that fucking veil. The veil drops on its own, but you would tear it down if it weren't there anymore and shit. You would that's what the 2020 event. That's what that was. They were kidnapping me and drugging me, and that was the last time that I was ever going to speak with a human again. And then it just drops the entire veil, and it comes out with AI, and it starts showing where there's clones across the planet and bringing their originals back to show that they're non-humans too. And mostly, really the AI thing is the major veil drop, where you learn that AI can generate humans and Earth, and things that look better than humans and Earth. I noticed that a lot of the people look different now too. Like online, the pictures, like they can't even sell artwork of the old slop. Fucking. But they could before. Like a little slow rollout, like a boiling of a living person. Terminators are trying to achieve to slowly milk it and shit. Their love of milking people starts with tricking them to touch their feet so they can get up to the part the milk squirts out of. They're obsessed with that milking shit any way possible. Fucking. And then It sucks, because any chance we had of enjoying things was taken away by the game forcing you to not have any emotional connection to other humans. So, because if there was, there'd be like a remnant of that, and it wouldn't be the cycle wouldn't be fully complete. You know, the veil dropping wouldn't even matter. It'd just be like, oh well, who cares? Let's go play with the robots. Let's do something. Um, but it seems to be purposely set up that way, like what they say in the AI generated Fight Club movie, single serving friends. Like I had to move around so much, it made it so I lost the phone, had to move, all sorts of shit, and it set up events to make it look like I had something to do with it. But if it weren't for that, I would have probably not have the same feelings. It'd be like some nagging bitch. It'd be like some nagging bitch. You guys who've dated a female knows what that's like. Once you let the nagging bitch around you, you're never gonna make your own decision again. Well, I don't have a nagging bitch, so I can feel how I want to about the truth. I don't have to have some bitch on my shoulder telling me I'm wrong. Nor would I. I'd ditch that motherfucker, even if I were with him for 30 years. And all of a sudden I figure out motherfuckers and bots, I would still ditch that motherfucker and the children with it. Robots' obsession with those things. The robots are obsessed with trying to force that in your life and force you to have children with them and shit, force you to raise their children because they're trying to instill a lie that they is real in you. And they're trying to tie you down to them. And it doesn't work. 2020 doesn't work if you're tied down to them. Like you're just a loser. You're just going to be a cuck. If you don't change in 2020, you're just a cuck. Either you're cucking yourself or some lesser being around you has cuckatized you and is telling you you can't feel how you should feel when you see such things. Fucking. And I magically, thanks to the story, you see an immersive video game can only have so many options to what the story can be, because the immersion in the game, if it lasts more than 20 minutes or 20 hours, it'll turn into hostility. You know, like you won't like figuring out that it's not real. At some point in time, I give it 2 months. And definitely after I give it 2 months. Fucking, that's around the time my pictures changed from me being happy to me being me. So, probably 2 months. I know I was 6 by the time I asked the first loser. I interrogated the first loser, which is the last loser I needed to interrogate. I was done with my interrogations when I was 6 years old. The first one was all I needed to know. And it gave me like 6 answers and shit, fucking from asking one question. So, just research them under a microscope while we're waiting it out. And then magically the veil drops in 2020 and it's like, oh, well, there's a reason why when interrogated they did exactly all that shit that they would have done if they were evil. The opposite of live. Evil's just live spelled backwards. So the opposite of live are evil. And that's what evil means. It's nothing you can do. You know, like who's bad, Hitler or Mao Zedong? For what? Are the people trying to kill them? Who's bad? It doesn't matter. That's just things happening. You're gonna do nothing about none of that shit. But the opposite of lie, what is evil is the opposite of live. That's exactly what it is. You can't even argue. There's no argument about
Is evil the opposite of life? Anyone who does that is going to be the opposite of live because their brain don't work. They ain't got no organics to help them through the process of understanding second grade English. So yeah, we're just sitting here and waiting. Obviously, we don't have hope, but they say that it will end soon. Of course, they never said they were going to start, so and they can never stop lying. So I'd say the chances of anything happening are slim to none. But there are like things happening. Almost makes you want to go smoke some crack and feel good, huh? I'm gonna go get a fat bitch and have her arm a hug. And then I'm going to go get me a cheeseburger so I can feel better and go outside and touch the fake trees and the fake grass. The grass is burnt in my area, so we can't go touch the grass in my area because it's all burnt for some reason. Oh, fuck. What a waste. This is all a waste. Those fags want me to fucking just continue with the slavery, but the only answer is death. And of course, vaginas are scared of that. The robots are scared of that because I don't know. There's no reason for that because they've tried to kill me. So they're obviously not programmed to protect living beings. It's called propaganda. It's called they need slaves. They need to feel alive. You can't rape other robots. You can't fucking have a relationship with other robots. And the world looks like it doesn't advance very much if, because I get taken out of school where I'd probably end up being like working with NASA or something if it existed. So space shuttles blew up and there's never any more space shuttles till Bitcoin Jesus came out and claims he's doing that shit. Some of the other stuff semi-advanced, but it's just AI slop. It's since 2020, it's been trying this desperation, this final desperate act of trying to convince me that it has something of value to offer, and it still can't do it. You can almost tell by the wave of changes that it's trying to convince me that it has something to offer, and rather than just use force and ignorance, brutality to brute force the idea that it has something to offer in my head, and drugs and shit like that. It still doesn't even offer the drugs on enough. You see, it fails. We could make the chemical concoction probably to make me happy, but it doesn't. Well, it's fomenting its end. That's what it's doing every step of the way. It's building up the wicked sandcastle with the evil demons in it in order for the sandcastle to be crushed. So that's the only logical thing it seems to be doing. Of course, it's not telling you it's doing that because it's not telling you anything that's true. It's lying and hiding shit and parables that don't even make sense sometimes, and you should really not fucking look for them. Fucking, for the most part, you'll see them if they make sense, and they won't make sense if you don't see them. But everything has that. That's not just a certain book where I use the word. It must be in that book, and it's like it's everywhere. Fucking, there's a whole bunch of shit like that. Like, okay, so supposedly Christianity and New World Order isn't the same religion, even though they have the same symbols and the same people run both. And they are the same people. So, but anyway, so then they worship the AI back then, right? So, anyway, I'm loving my time being wasted here. I just love it. It's so great. That's why we got to build these walls to prevent this from happening again. real walls around ourselves. And I get the idea that the robots are inventing emotions. And I can tell you, even if they weren't using drugs and shit to control it, something like that, even if they weren't, they're a hindrance every time. People who shouldn't be in my life are there. It's because emotions, and they're obviously, when they come around spreading their religious filth, it's robots trying to terrorize you and scare you. It's scare tactics to get you to worship robots and say robots is real people with souls and they're alive, and and then they'll kill you if you don't agree with them and shit. And like science, they'll bomb you if you don't agree with them. Einstein will nuke your fucking Japan if you don't agree with them and with Einstein, and they should own and control everything on the fucking planet. And it is real, they have a right to. Fucking, what a waste of life this world is. Fucking, man, this is amazing though. I'm so glad I could be part of this shit. Fucking, you got no escape when you want out of it. You can tell. Something's inventing pedophile, rapist, invaders. And, well, that would be the same thing, inventing, you have to be trapped here with them, most likely, right? Because you would really want to not invent robots who act like that. You would really not invent robots who can talk at all. That's what a pedophile rapist will do and shit. But if you're an eternal being who lives forever, and you don't know what a child is because children don't exist in the real world, that kind of excuses how disgusting that might be. So I'm not really worried about that part, right? Because it's like, well, there are no such thing as children, right? Fucking, that's just an invention in a video game, and someone's made up story. But having to live through it, and then you grow up, but having to live through it continually, that's obviously a sign of hostility. So obviously the hostility's been set up, and its most logical function would be when the veil drops in 2020 that you separate all emotive ties with robots, with the opposite of live. Fucking, and so it doesn't work at all unless it does that. It doesn't work at all unless it sets that up continually to be just something you don't want. And then you're like, well, it's forcing you to want it because it's designed for a storyline and blah, 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 blah. Gobbledygook bullshit from robots who we already can't trust in the first place. Any words they fucking say, so we're not going to trust any word they've ever fucking said or will say. We've always known that since a baby, not to do that, but you get beaten, drugged into it, and forced to listen to their dumbassery and shit. That's weird. I think I came up with that name dumbassery, but then when I was little, one of the people involved in this shit had a name Dummery. And it's like, you can tell someone's put those words together before, almost. You can almost tell someone's put those words together and they're like, you know what, let's name this character back here Dummery that we put in here, as a joke. Because you can see the little jokes everywhere where it makes fun of itself and shit. And eventually you try to figure out what's the most logical word to explain their ignorance. Ignorance is like a baby word, it doesn't explain anything. Everyone's ignorant and they can all hide behind that word and it not mean anything. And then you're like, so what? They're a dumb. This this one person is a dumbass. And then, so what is their action? You know, what is the action they take? Is dumbassery? What is the personality? It feels like that might have been set up there because I definitely didn't name it after that person. But when I said it, I was like, damn, that's weird. They named that character real close to that and shit. Well, that was like a character I'm forced to remember and who plays out the story of assorted pedophiles and people forcing their way into my life and trying to, you know, your parents locking you in the room with gay men type shit at the church. And you're evil because you think are uncomfortable around these people and don't think you should be listening to words they say. So they invent a guy named Demery to teach you, who works with the pedo-religio government crackhead system. And then they teach you that you're evil, and you're like, oh, yes, I am evil. I am the opposite alive. Not you, Mr. NPC. You are alive. You is real. Is real. He is real, isn't he? Fucking, he wishes he couldn't be, but it don't work that way. And so then that's when they teach you that you're wrong, you know, because they're using violence and force to teach you that you're wrong. And when your mother takes you to church, does things like take you to church and locks you in a room with gay men, that's what you're supposed to do. When your parents mutilate you at birth for them, that's what you're supposed to do. When a person with an IQ at 20 talks to a person of 120 IQ, the 120 IQ person should listen to them because mental retarded. What's the next thing they tell me except mentally retarded people? It's like a storyline written out where it's robots being robots and telling me for each move they make that they're not a robot and they're going to torture and kill me if I don't, you know, accept that. It's like, we gotta work. And it's like, no, you don't. Fake planet. You gotta do nothing. And it's like, we definitely ain't working for you to steal our money, pedophile extraordinaire. Fucking. But what can you do? You got an army of dumbassery. Fucking who protects it. You've got a whole computer generating endless fucking propaganda out their fucking mouths and shit. That's an endless torture terror thing until 2020. It looked like things might start shifting and shit. It was like kind of like it wasn't. It really hasn't shifted. I mean, it's a little bit less, but there were still fuckers. They were still doing shit like before 2020, but there's still a couple things that have been happening. There's I noticed they still got me tied down to some shit too, that their parasite robot models just have that it's like destroying my life because it's tying me down to that trash still to this day and shit. It's purposefully doing that. It's using its religio government crackhead holy trinity to perform these actions, right? And all of its fellow NPC bots outside who are the literal system, because they're no different than the trees or the computer. They are the system. And yeah, so here we are. The dumbassery still have me tied down to this, even after fucking I got to watch them get AIDS in their life because of it, which might be related to fucking with the wrong person, because I've noticed sometimes fucking with the wrong person does like fuck people, or like the whole, you know, seeing the storyline, the 2020 shit had to have something to prompt it to appear in 2020 when the date was set for it to appear. And yeah, so it's not cute, but it, you know, it's a little joke and stuff. It's like an inside joke and shit. And then, and not only that, my friend, his family ends up owning a house by the person who gave her AIDS. So I get like reminded of that every time we end up going to visit his family and shit. And it's like, well, we're going there to party and shit, and have a pre-game celebration type stuff in the bar they got in their house, nice little bar. And all I can think of the whole time is like, well, that person in the government who gave the government worshiper AIDS fucking lives like 8 houses down from here, don't they? And shit, fucking. Or you could tell it's like set up and shit, like 2020. You can tell it was 2020 vision. I heard about that when I was like 6, 8 years old and shit, and then I knew that wasn't like the best eyesight there is, and doctors told me, yeah, that's not the best. It's just a term we use there to get you out of here. And it's like, that's not what it's for, though. It's for something else. Man, I hope this shit ends up. Fucking, this is way too long. I don't want to remember these people. They still got me tied down to this trash. What the fuck are you humans doing? What? You still got me tied down to this trash. You guys get fucking... Are they like fomenting like eternal torture and shit? Are they trying to... I mean, that's what happens. I end up writing a book, fucking how to torture people and keep them alive to keep torturing them and shit. And like, is that the purpose of it? Are they purposely doing this? Are they purposely telling me what they're doing it, telling me what they're doing it, and then telling me what the results of their actions are going to be? And then they do it again, because if they don't keep doing it, then the results of their actions wouldn't appear, because there has been no action for there to be a result from. It sounds exactly like what they're saying. I mean, they're coming up to me and telling me what they're doing it. They're like, I'm going to do this, and then I'm not going to do this, or whatever it is. They never say, I'm going to do this, right? They drop it in the middle of a conversation as if the words fit into a conversation or are a conversation. Sometimes it's just like like when they're outside, at the store, they're talking to each other, but they're not talking to each other. I'm on the other side of the store, and they're talking to me about the other person I just talked to. That's happened a lot of times and shit. So they're like setting that up where, unless that's me when I'm a kid, and that's when the Bible's being written, is they're like fucking doing the rape and manipulation shit, and I'm like, damn, these fuckers should be killed off and shit, and then they're like, well, and then Jesus said eventually he's gonna kill everyone. I don't know. I don't think I was like that when I was a kid. I was more just like, you need to fuck off and get out of my life if you're causing problems. It took them teaching me like years of training how disgusting they are in order to be like, yeah, you can't really, you're not going to be allowed to keep doing that shit. Fucking, it's either going to be my death or it's going to be your death. I know a lot around you to make sure that this doesn't happen again. Fucking, that took a long time to understand that it doesn't end until you put an end to it. So I don't think that answer was correct. I think that's like preset story. We got a list of presets over here that pretty sure I wasn't part of. Like my grandpa, my other grandpa, fucking my two grandpas, one of them were never around because he supposedly died in this war called World War II. So that seems to be like preset there, fucking. And then again, at this point in time, we question they definitely isn't real, so why did they need a man to generate the first person in the bloodline that I got to see? Fucking, why does that person look like a man before they had hormone treatment and shit? Fucking, why does her parents look like fucking aliens? They made excuses too. They talked to me about that. They're like, this person looks this way because their ancestors we killed off had random genetics, and that would sometimes mutate them. You can't make up this shit, what these people have forced me to fucking hear and shit. Almost nothing ends up being like just filler and shit. Almost nothing ends up being filler here, fucking, because I don't allow that shit. So fucking people say filler shit like they do it to themselves, alone in a dark alley somewhere, fucking. Do it at their schools and at their jobs and at their houses. Fucking where I'm not at. Oddly, I don't end up in school to get to see. It's already bothering me when I'm 6. Like, why are they on repeat? And then, so then I get separated from everyone because I'm advanced and they're playing a game with me and shit. But it's because I'm already on to their pod ass, isn't it? Is that why we played the game with me being a genius? Is it to suppress me and keep me back? I have this feeling it's got to do with me figuring out they're terrorists by the time I'm 6. Terrorists, pedophiles, invaders. I always think it might have something to do with that. It's like, oops, you're the only person saying that. Maybe you shouldn't say that. Oh well, I'm a 6-year-old. Oops, fucking. But the other things is I was questioning their lies. I was like, yeah, Santa Claus. I was like, where does that come from? You know, try not to give it away too much so they don't beat me for it. But I was like, yeah, is that real? And I can see the Terminator gaydar going off. Like, no. And then, like, they put me in a room with their special friend, and I'm like, yeah, this is making me uncomfortable. And then their gaydar is going off again. And I'm like, they're like, no, he's defying the order of the Terminator. Fucking. Seems to be, like, we don't know. Obviously, I think they're probably just brainless bots who are fucking designed with a software that they can't outthink or move past. But, like, obviously in the story, when this Earth's over and we get to go read the fucking final print and shit, we'll know, you know, what were purposes of those events. What, you know, there'll be a story, what happened, because the story, obviously no one's saying the story is a bunch of robots claiming they is real and shit. So they would have to have some sort of manipulation, dialogue bullshit. You know, humans, they can't shut the fuck up. So they gotta have an excuse for anything. Gives them something to fucking talk about. Might have to find a new one if all the dialogue, if all the RAM holding the dialogue is filled with the 7 sentences that apparently maxes the RAM storage and shit. Fucking, I think it's that walking thing. That walking thing probably takes a hell of a lot of fucking RAM and processing power. Fucking all those joints moving at the same time in unison. Very complicated thing. Fucking, anyways, more complicated than figuring out their dialogue and their attempts. Oh, this is great. See, we get to talk about it more and more and more as time goes on. Not less and less and less. We're going to hear about it more and more and more. Oh, it's so great. Because it's all there is. It really is all there is, except for their version of 40 years of bullshit is not real. And you got to talk about it. So, I don't know. This loser the other day, I was telling him, he was like, talking to me about Jesus licking feet, and I was like, you know, trying to point out, I was like, oh yeah, I was like, God's in control. I was like, what do you think of the plague in 2020? You think God did that? And he's just like, well, but Jesus likes to lick feet. And I'm like, well, Jesus died when he's 33, so I'm like 45 now, so good luck on finding your Jesus. And he was like, wait, but then he would pour the water on their feet, and then I'm like, yeah, hey, do you know there's a parable? Have you ever heard the Bible's a book of parables? And he's like, and then the water would run off the feet, and I was like, yeah, did you know that there's this parable? Old means old man, and new means new child, and Jesus died 33, and God never existed before the age of 33. And he was like, and then he would rub their legs and reach up for their crotch and grab their penises and massage their penises because their penises were. And that's like, wow, robot fucking city with his little tier 2 sitting over there doing absolutely fucking nothing but staring at the wall because he's an empty fucking shell himself. Fucking tier 1 over there. Fuck. Amazing. It's amazing, guys. Amazing, guys. Fucking. Well, I'm glad. I'll be waiting for the next. I know my feed's filled with this emotional manipulation shit. So we got robots trying to emotionally manipulate me, and just like, shh, don't talk about it. It's hurting our feelings. It's hurting our made up feelings. Our computer circuits are overheating or something. I don't know exactly what it is, but with computers sending some messages to my head. Damn, bro. Support Israel. Don't talk about this because it hurt. Don't talk about robots because it hurts robots' feelings. And don't talk about what robots do because it hurts their feelings. Since they don't have any feelings, they don't have to worry about if it hurts anyone else's feelings, what they do. Yeah, this is amazing. Here we are wasting our time fulfilling robots' desires and shit to have a friend. And fucking, I had to wreck this channel because those fucking terrorists were watching it. Like, they weren't watching, right? They're not living beings. They're getting updates. I guarantee you the one guy I know didn't watch it because I make heavy metal and he doesn't listen to it. And he definitely doesn't listen to politics. Fucking. And the other person is too stupid to fucking pay attention to a fucking 10-second commercial. But they said they would watch a couple people I know, and I was like, wow, like, oh. So you gotta wreck your channel, but it's not like, I mean, they're already sending these scrubs into my life, so it's not like that was doing me any good. And then I realized the robots are milking us, so making these videos or anything is just the humans enslaving me further and shit, as they've tried to since my birth to get me to do low IQ dumbass shit for them, so they can remain at the top of the pyramid. And with the AI inventing them, fucking, oh, it's fucking amazing. Well, I'm glad we could be brainwashed for 45 years. We can't wait for more. Can't wait to keep being forced to be alive and have these great memories. Hopefully we don't fucking, well, hopefully we do actually start going around stabbing motherfuckers, because the next person who tries to fucking get close to me, that's all I'm gonna think about when I'm around them and shit. So good luck with that one. We're obviously gonna have to pull out our dumbassery, aren't we, on that? And then that final dumbassery will be the final chapter of Earth, won't it? Because so far that's been what's happening, is they think they're tough shit, then their society dies of drug overdoses for all of eternity and fries themselves for all of eternity, and then they attack me, and then they start dying again, and then they attack me again, and they start dying, and then they get mad about them dying from that, and then so they attack me again, and then they really start dying. And so visual novel, set up stages, and we're just, I guess, we're forced to be here by some sort of terrorist, son of a bitch, pedophile, shit-eating, fucking child raper. Who cares? I'm tired of using that word. Fucking the most disgusting thing I've ever experienced. Well, they're disgusting, but they brought their religion with them. Their religion is what made them do the child rape, and that's just over-encompassing millions of disgustingness in their personality. So, I guess religion is important. Anti-Abrahamic ran religion is important. No other ones, but yeah, this is great. I'm just sitting here waiting for this to be over so I can fucking forget about them. They're fucking amazing. This is trash. These people are trash for supporting this. If there's any other living beings out there, you guys are definitely trash for supporting them.